Great. We're here live in Lagos, iGroove Radio, and it's a wonderful sunny afternoon, and right here in our studio, worldwide, Keziah Jones. Hi, Keziah.
How you doing? Good to be here.
Omo Balogun. And obviously you're here for the Gotha Institute 50th anniversary celebrations, which kick off tonight, and you're the main act tonight. So how does that feel?
Feels good. I mean, like, you know, I knew the director for a couple of years and he was telling me about this for a while. And for me it's nice because I've been touring all year, so it's nice to come home to do something at home and acoustic as well, so it's not really with the band and all that, so I can just do my own thing. So it'll be a nice show. I also have an opportunity to play some of the new songs I've been writing for the new album.
Right.
That's a good opportunity, so yeah, I think it'll be nice, hopefully.
Right. When last did you play at home?
I was here in July, I think, at the Jazz Hall, I think. The Jazz Hall.
Yeah, one of the Jazz Hall sessions.
Yeah, we did a, well, I did a different kind of gig because I said to Colin, well, I want to do something different, you know, so basically this idea of the superhero guy, I told people about the superhero story. I read some poetry, I got people in the audience to read poetry. I had my computer playing some music and the band was playing on top. Something multimedia, you know what I mean? And it was good, it was just something else. Instead of going to a concert and just applauding and everything, just have an interaction thing. So it was nice, it was very chaotic, but it was fun.
You just did a sound check, and obviously Freedom Park is a different experience. I know you've been in and out of all many years. Freedom Park is new for all of us. And Freedom Park, what's it to you? What do you see?
Well, I know the history of it a little bit. Somebody told me that it was like, used to be an old
prison, the first federal prison.
Right. And then they redesigned it, and now it stands for something a lot more, you know, liberal and liberating and everything like that. So it's good. As a stage, I think it's quite nice to be outdoors, you know, and the fact that we were able to have our own backdrop is really good too. So for me, generally, it's a different kind of gig because the concerts I do here are normally small or in like a jazz hall, or we did Muzon, I guess, indoors. It's nice to almost have a festival type of idea. For me, it would be quite good to do that. So I got a general good feeling about it, I think.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the character Rugged, who your next album is about?
Right. I was just hanging out with friends, you know, just joking around, and we just started talking about, you know, Nigeria and the way Nigeria is, and someone introduced the subject of superheroes, the fact that they can do anything, and you know, the powers they have, they can just solve a problem just like that. So okay, why not put that into a Nigerian context? You know, you have Superman, Spider-Man, Silver Surfer, and all that stuff. But what about a superhero in a Nigerian context? How would it work? You know what I mean? Somebody who's a superhero and you see him on the street and like, Rocket is here, you know what I mean? Like they're helping people across the street.
Capes and
you know what I mean?
I wonder what he'd be wearing.
You know what I mean?
Very capes.
Yeah. So we started talking about the idea and it just grew and grew. Like, you know, what would he eat? Where would he live?
Yeah.
What would be the kryptonite? You know, what would be kryptonite to Rugged? You know what I mean? And it just became really funny, this idea. So I wrote a story.
Yeah.
I made him a guy who was in the army and then he went AWOL because he didn't agree with the whole thing that was going on with Delta. He came to Lagos and they were looking for him, and then he develops his superpowers by just, you know, somehow. And he starts doing things, you know. And I wrote the story, and then my friend B, Vandeli Thomas, a really well-known, good, amazing writer, he made it into a proper narrative, beginning, middle, and end. And then Native, another friend who's a graphic guy, showed us what he would look like. He said Adire cape, you know, Adire, you know, he just had a Nigerian, you know, superhero costume, So it just grew and grew, and I thought, well, I'm going to make the music to this, a soundtrack to this idea. That's where the album came through. So basically, that's what I've been doing the last year or two, and the album will be out in September. The novel, the graphic novel, the images is finished. So we're going to put everything out at the same time.
So when the album comes out, there'll also be a comic book about Rugged.
Well, there'll be a book you can buy in a bookshop, and then with the CD, there'll be like maybe 10 pages from the book.
That'd be very nice.
That's how we're going to do it. Because nowadays it's like visuals to me is very, very important. As well as music is great, but visuals is important. How to get things to people who may not normally listen to my music. Somebody might buy the comic or, you know. So it's an interesting idea.
Yeah. So you said that you're building a studio.
Yeah.
And when would that be ready?
Hopefully in September as well. The idea of a studio is just to have a place where I can record my music cheaply and freely. and also try to produce other people.
Yeah.
I've done a few things for other people in terms of writing songs and everything, but now I think in terms of production, that's something I can bring
Yeah.
to Nigeria.
You're talking about making Nigerian music more modern.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've come up through, I play guitar, so I've come up through listening to blues, listening to jazz, listening to funk, listening to avant-garde music, classical music, and even my father's music when I was very young, Akbala music from my brother, Yusuf Olatunji, all those people, Fela, you know. So there's a broad, I paint from a broad palette, you know. So when I say production, I mean, like, you know, there's so many things you can do with the record, not just a great song. When I listen to the radio, I think that's a great song, but you know, you can do so many more things in the studio with it. I think people here maybe don't have maybe the time or whatever to add more spice to an album. That's where the production thing comes in.
What do you think, obviously we're in this digital age, right? And you know, you come from a background where you busked the streets of London. Then you started doing albums. The old model of selling records, obviously it was hard. As the digital age changed how your music goes out.
Yeah, the digital age has really changed a lot of things, first of all, because the record label is not the same thing. They don't function in the same way. They don't make their money from the CD sales anymore, because everybody can download your music. My last album came out 2008, September. Within a week it was available online, free, okay? So, you know, digital music nowadays is just a way to get music for free. And I can understand my nephew's like, you know, in his 20s, and that's the way they consume music. They don't go to a record store anymore. There aren't any more record stores anyway in the UK and everything. So you download it, fine. So what I'm saying is, like, music is free anyway, it should be shared. The record label will say, you're signed to us, therefore I'll give you a percentage of your own music on each album sold. So what I've just done, I just redesigned my deal. So it's more like online sales, you know, apps, online apps, and even the live work a little bit. If you fund the album, I'll give you some of my live work, and we'll share the online sales, and that's how you make the record label still relevant, so that they're the ones who can promote your music worldwide. So it's changed a lot of things, you know. The good thing is, like, anybody anywhere in the world can now listen to Keziah Jones' music, I guess. But then, by listening to that one song for free, they might come to a concert and they might sort of decide to download or buy the actual album on iTunes. So it's changed a lot of things, man. Really, and musicians are still trying to react, you know, somehow.
It's good you mentioned concerts. Looking at the Nigerian scene, obviously there's a lot of money in touring, and the Nigerian scene, it's sadly there are not many acts that can tour. Right. Now, is this part of why you're starting off the studio project and making music that can tour, that can play live? Is this part of
everywhere?
What you're looking at?
I've been touring since my first album, which is 1992. I've been touring a lot, and I'm essentially a live musician. I mean, that's how my music is. That's the best way you can see my music. You come to the concert. Because every concert is different every time. You know, I'm always evolving, I'm always transforming things. It's a live experience, you know. So that's the main thing. Right now, as I get older, you know, I got married in January. I cannot justify being away from home for, like, you know, 5-6 months. You have to have a very good excuse. And touring, okay, I'm on tour. It's not enough anymore. So basically, I said to myself, how can I combine my home life and my professional life? I live at my house, and the back of my house is my studio, so I can work and live in the same place, and make money without touring. So really, that's the rationale, that's the reason that came through. It just made a lot of sense to me. And you know, touring is great, but you know, as you get older, it's like, it's quite hard, you know.
It is.
You live in the hotels, you know, you're constantly on the move. You don't have a home, you're just always on the move, you're always available. So, you know, but that's how you have to make money. But I can make money in other ways. I can write for other people, I can produce, I can do many, many things. And that's where my mind is at right now.
Right. But do you think the fact that most young Nigerian acts can't really tour, do you think it's affecting them globally?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when a Nigerian act does really well here, and let's say somebody is interested internationally, they're going to bring them over to wherever, UK, whatever, and they're going to get them to perform. But then again, these young acts, they don't come through the live scene. I mean, they play to backing tapes and everything like that. So it's like hip hop now. You just play along to the DJ plays the music and you sing along to it. It's all right, and that's their thing. But I noticed that they want to become musicians as well because the credibility comes from being able to play perform your thing. You get credibility that way. That's how you last as well. You know, I get people still into my music from the first album, and they were like 13 or something when they heard it. So now their parents or their kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm touring, I'm traveling, I'm playing all the time, it stays around. That's how you have longevity. And these young kids, I mean, they'll eventually realize that they have to become actual musicians if they want their music to last longer, not just like a short-term thing.
Okay. So, any more questions for you?
I thought you had.
I was actually going to ask you if you told your wife sometime if she travels with you.
Generally, you know, when you're touring, it's best to tour without your wife. But
You got married in January, so it's still fresh.
Yeah, I took her with me. We got married in January, and then in the summer tour, I took her out with me just to show her exactly. Because you know, if you don't know what it's all about, then you might have all the ideas of what might be going on. Of course, a lot of things goes on tour. But I just told her to come so that at least she sees what it's all about. Yeah. So she came with us for about a month, I think, when we were in Europe.
What was the experience like?
It was good. It was nice. I mean, touring is all guys. It's a guy thing now, you know, all guys, we stay up late, the gig, you play the gig, everyone's very excited, it's like, ah.
But don't you get tired at some point? Don't you want to sleep, rest, be by yourself?
It's work.
It's exciting now, you know, it's like fun. You're playing in a different country every night, you know, you're on the tour bus, you know, it's great. People, it's just fun. If you have a really good crew and a nice group of people, it's a really good fun. And as a girl, she came into that and she actually managed herself really well, because normally, you know, a woman in that environment can be. But she was cool. She managed it really well. She's quite rugged herself. You know? She's quite like, you know, she managed it.
Well, you planning to match with a?
Come on, too.
But talking about your sound, last album, Nigerian Wood, there was some heavy production credits. Karim
Riggins was on there.
Yeah, I was worked with Tony Turner and some others. Is it the new album coming? Any heavyweights working?
I'm actually producing it myself, and it's being mixed by a guy called Russell Elevado, who mixed D'Angelo and The Roots and all those guys. It's more like I'm going to have musicians come in to feature as well. So I'm trying to bring in some Nigerian music, like maybe Asha or like Ineka or Tony Allen's going to be involved as well. Lenny Kravitz is a guy who I toured with on my first album, and I've been a friend with over the years, and he's coming in maybe to produce 1 or 2 songs. So yeah, there's a few names here and there. I'm trying to make it a general, you know, get some other people involved.
Right. And any artists from home in Nigeria that will be on the...
Yeah, I'm looking at the moment. I haven't made any firm decisions, but there will be some Nigerian artists.
I noticed you do quite a lot of gigs with Wura Samba.
Wura's the man. You know, he's come on tour with us a couple of times, and you know, he's a very good musician as well. So in terms of being on the album, definitely, I think he's going to be involved as well.
Right.
So,
Brilliant, massive. So iGroove Radio.
Representing Lagos. Keziah Jones, aka RUGGED. Coming to the album in September.
Rugged.
Watch out for it.
Yes.
Nice one.